We've now got our container and products projects in a pretty good state, but now we need to make use of some code from products inside of our container. We need to set up our integration process. And that's exactly what we're going to start to do inside this video. So let me show you a diagram that's going to walk through the exact series of steps we're going to go through. Okay, so we're going to go through this one by one. We're going to go through all these steps rather quickly. And in the coming videos, we're going to go into great detail and I'm going to explain what all these different steps are about. So to get started, we're going to first designate one application as a host and one as a remote. Our host is going to be the application that is trying to make use of code from another project. So for you and I, our host is the container. Your remote is a project that is making code available to other projects. So for you and I, our remote is products. Next up, inside of our remote, which again is products, we're going to decide which modules, or files really is what we call them, you want to make available to other projects. So for you and I, right now, this is a really easy decision to make. Inside of our products project, there's only one source code file available, and that is our src index.js file. This is the only file that we can somehow make available to other projects. So we want to make index.js available to other projects inside of our overall project. Okay, on to step number 3. So this is where things are going to start to get really interesting. To somehow integrate these different projects together, we're going to use a plugin from Webpack called the Module Federation plugin. Like I said, we're going to go into great detail about what all these things are about very shortly, but for right now, let's just set up this plugin. To do so, I'm going to find the Webpack config file inside of my products directory. Then at the very top, I will require in Module Federation plugin from webpack/lib/container/module federation plugin. Once I've got that require statement, I'll then find my plugins array. I'll do a new module federation plugin, and we're going to provide a couple of options to this thing. First, we're going to put in a name of products, a file name of remote entry.js, and then finally exposes. This is going to be an object with a key of ./products_index and a value of ./src index. Now I'm sure all these different options right here, right now, look a little bit mysterious. Like I said, don't worry, we're going to come back and understand what this is all about. So I'm going to save this file and then close it. Now we'll move on to our next step. Inside of our host, which is our container, we're then going to decide which files we want to get from the remote. So in our case, once again, really easy decision. There's only one file available. The only file that we can get access to inside of our host is the index.js file inside of products. So we want to get access to that file. Once we've decided upon that, we're going to set up the Module Federation plugin inside of our host as well. So inside of our container, webpack config.js, we're going to again require in Module Federation plugin from webpack lib container Module Federation plugin. I'll then go to my plugins array. We're going to set it up in a very familiar or very similar way, so new Module Federation plugin. And then we'll pass it a couple of options. So in this case, we're going to add in a name of container and then a remotes. That's going to be an object. We'll put in products and we'll put in a string here. And the string is going to look a little bit confusing. So please double check your spelling and all your typos inside of here. We're going to put in products at http://localhost 8081 remoteentry.js. Okay, so there's our setup inside the host. Now, this next step, once again, a little bit confusing. Don't sweat it. Inside of our host, we're going to do a little bit of a refactor. So all we have to do inside of our container directory, we're going to find the index.js file. I'm going to rename that file to bootstrap. Now we've got bootstrap.js. And then inside of src, I'm going to make a new file, also called index.js. And inside of here, I'm going to put in an import function call. So notice we don't have an import statement. It's an import function call. And we are going to write in there /bootstrap, like so. And then finally, inside of our host, we're going to import whatever files that we actually need from the remote. So for that, we're going to try to figure out, hey, where do we actually want to make use of our source code that we're importing from products? Well, we probably want to get access to all that source code inside this new bootstrap.js file. And I say probably, but that's probably not really clear why I say probably just yet. Don't sweat it for right now. Just inside of bootstrap.js at the very top, we'll put in an import of products/products index, like so. And that should be it. Okay, for the 5th time in this video, I just want to mention, I know a lot of this stuff is probably really mysterious, really confusing. Don't sweat it. Going to go over it step by step. I apologize for repeating that, but just want to make sure it's super clear. So now to test everything out, we're going to go back over to our terminal and restart our Webpack processes. So back at my terminal, I have 2 terminal windows open. I've got one right here for my container, or excuse me, for my products, and then the other for container. So I'm going to stop both these with the Control-C. So here's products folder and the container folder. And inside of both of them, I'm going to do another npm run start. Okay, so now we're ready to test everything out inside the browser. And I want you to know that when we run this in the browser, we might end up seeing an error message, but that's totally okay. We're going to fix it up really quickly. So back inside of my browser, I'm going to navigate to localhost:8080. And then once there, I'm going to open up my console, and I might see some kind of error like this, something that says cannot set property inner HTML of null. So we're seeing this error right now because we are trying to run some code from our products application. If we go back to products and find index.js, remember that when we load all this code and execute it, we try to find some element on the screen with an ID of dev-products, and then we try to set its inner HTML. So right now we are running this code inside of our container project. And inside of our container project, we don't have an HTML element with that selector. So to get our code to work, we're just going to very quickly go into our public index.html file inside of container. And inside that empty body, I'm going to add in a div with an ID of dev-products. I'll then save the file, flip back over, and sure enough, at localhost 8080, we now see our list of products on the screen. Remember, localhost 8080 is our container application. We can also see a console log of container right here. So I think at this point in time, it's pretty clear that we are inside of our kind of container application environment, but we have loaded up and executed some code coming from our products application. So this is definitely good, but a lot of mysterious code. So let's take a pause right here and then start to figure out what is going on in the next video.